Hey everyone, welcome to Real Talk with Ellasin, and I am Ellasin. Listen, don't be selfish. If you're on Facebook, go ahead and like it. If you're on YouTube, please go ahead and share. On Real Talk with Ellasin, we talk about real issues that affect the community as a whole. So, with that being said, let's get this show started. Hey everyone, thank you for tuning in with Ellasin on Real Talk with Ellasin. And today's topic, we are talking about Black history with a twist. And the twist is we are combining the past with the current as well as the future. I want to first give you, before I bring on my special guest today, I want to give you some Black history facts. We know that history is a discipline in making sense of the past to understand how the present comes to be. And Black History Month, which was formerly known as Negro Week, which was celebrated only the second week of February, we now have a whole month. And the month was created to focus attention on the contributions of African Americans in the United States. So if this is real talk, guys, how y'all know we need more than just 1 month, right? History is history. So February was chosen primarily because the second week of the month was Abraham Lincoln as well as Frederick Douglass' birthday. So they put the two together and they decided to, hey, let's celebrate Black history in February. How many of you guys knew that? Put I knew that in the chat, right? Put that in the chat. I knew that. So Black history, what it does, it honors all Black people from all periods of U.S. history, from the enslaved people first that was brought over here from Africa from the early 17th century, and then also to us in the United States as of today. So with that being said, joining me today, I have a wonderful couple. They have been married for over 15 years. They have 4 children. So you guys help me welcome Domenick and Lakita Epps. Welcome. Hey guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Absolutely. Yes. Listen, viewers, I am on site at Wall Street Cafe in Suffolk, Virginia. Whoop, whoop. So this looks a little different. We are here with them and their business. Amen. So before we get started, I just want to say, whoop, whoop. You guys are doing it. I'm proud. I know them, right? I know them. Absolutely. Yes. So Domenick, with you first, you sit on the zoning board, right? For the zoning board of appeals. Right. You also the board of directors for Metropolitan Federal Credit Union. Why is that one important? Why is that important?
Because it's a Black-owned bank.
Woo! Say that again.
Black-owned credit union, Black-owned credit union, and the only Black-owned credit union in Suffolk in this area.
Man, yeah, the only one. Woo! Yeah, see, I know them, y'all. So and then also, right? You guys are owners of Epps Affordable Rentals. Now, for our viewers, let us know a little bit about that, because affordable rentals. Tell us more about that.
So what we do is we provide affordable, quality, and safe rental housing, for low and medium income families. And so it ranged from, just room rentals to entire homes for rent.
Okay. So,
yeah, and it's good quality too.
So. All right, it is. I'll be seeing you. So, and then Dream Queen LLC over here. Yes, Miss Lakita. So you have your own business, Dream Queen LLC. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I created that with the imagination of encompassing travel, events, and a lot of social things that I'm involved in. So the Dreaming Queen LLC is the name of the business, but it will have different components under it that I
Okay.
enjoy to do.
Okay, so I hear her talking about umbrella and then businesses.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
All right. So wait. Hold on, guys, because we're not done yet.
Nope.
So co-owners of Wall Street Cafes.
That's
That's
right.
Absolutely.
It's two of them.
That's two of them.
It's two of them, and then with more to come. Okay. And so let me just finish this before I start with that Wall Street, because we all know about Tulsa, right?
Right.
Okay, so anywho, and then also co-owners of Victory Alliance Realty. Allegiance
Yes.
Realty, right?
Yes.
Whew, I'm tired.
There's more, but that's
With that being said, right? And guys, on this show, we're talking about keep the dream alive. That's what this show is about. So you online, please hashtag keep the dream alive, right? And so you guys heard everything that the Epps, is a part of, plus some. But we want to look into the past a little bit and talk briefly about your journey. And it's Real Talk with Ellasin.
Yeah.
So
who's gonna start?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So when we say and take it back, I can honestly say when I first met my husband, he has always had a dream.
Mm-hmm.
He had a black and white composition notebook when I first met him, and it was pages and pages of things that he wanted to accomplish in life. And to be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, hey, don't nobody want to do all this in their lifetime. However, a lot of those things have come to pass since I've known him. For instance, coaching, being involved in the community, having his own business, clothing line, involved in the local government, volunteering, music industry, the food service industry. So things are coming to pass. But if I could be honest, when I saw it, I didn't believe it. And then not only not believing it, it took a long time to even get on board to actually see what he meant by it's going to come to pass. Because he could see it before I could see it.
Wow.
So if we could go all the way back, I can say ever since I've known him, he has had a dream. But I didn't always see it, understand it, or appreciate it.
Yeah.
So that's
powerful.
That's a good word.
Right. So listen, guys. We've known each other for years, like years. We've known each other for years. So I know the story, and I know you've never given up on the dream.
Right.
At one point it was like, what's Dom doing next? What's Dom got going on now, right? And so what you said is so powerful, because let's be honest, couples, do we always really act as supportive partners? Right? Sometimes as the spouse, we could be the biggest naysayer if not careful.
Yeah.
Right? So with you even saying that helps us as couples to know that, okay, I might feel this way, right? But you guys kept pushing.
Right.
Dom, you kept pushing, right? And you pushed even when you didn't have no more push.
Right. Now they want to push.
Look, I ain't got no more to push, right? So Dom, in that part with showing her, like, look, I got a dream, and I believe, baby, if you just hold on. And sometimes she like, I don't see it.
Yeah.
How did that affect you?
So I think before the composition notebook, I had we had a real heart-to-heart conversation. Right now, let me take you back to the point to paint the picture for you. I was broke. I had one outfit, and the clothing line, quote unquote. I used to paint my clothes. Right. So what I would do was I have a pair of jeans. So it was two outfits. So I would paint the inside, and then I would, wear my pants inside out. So one day I wear it like this. The next day I wear it inside out, like I had, so.
Listen.
So in the beginning, I had no job. Queen used to, she had the car. When we would go out to eat, she footed the bill. All right. So yes, find you a good woman that don't mind taking a tab, right? That believe in your dream enough to say, I'm gonna get this one, but one day you're gonna pay me back.
That's right. That's right.
So before we got too deep in our relationship, I said to her, listen, I see myself doing this. I see myself traveling. I see myself having businesses. And I just kept going.
Yes.
And then I said, if you don't think you can handle it, let's not go any further. Right? Because I see it, even though I was still living with my mom in a 3-bedroom roach infested apartment. Was in the projects, was in the hood, but I knew that God had something much bigger.
Woo.
Right. So I would just continue to declare that and speak that. And I didn't want us to get so far into a relationship. And then she said, well, that's not, this is not what I wanted. Right. So, and once she said, I think she spoke, yes, she's on,
right,
without really believing that it was going to happen anyway. So it's like,
right.
I'm saying yes to something that's really not going to take place.
Or did you even know how much it was going to entail?
Right. I didn't even know that.
Right. But you've seen it.
Right.
You've seen it. You've seen it. And you knew it was there. It's just, what is it going to take to accomplish it? And the mere fact that you said yes, did you believe in the vision or did you believe in the man?
I think she believed in the God in me. My favorite line was, "Don't trust me, trust the God in me."
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it wasn't nothing about me to believe. You know what I'm saying? I had the same white T-shirt, same pair of pants. You know what I'm saying? I had some balling shorts, so I did have another outfit, some balling shorts. So I don't know, like. Is that what else?
Hashtag trust the God in me.
I don't know what it was.
Oh man, love it.
But it was. I knew that it was going to be a challenge because I knew her grandfather, retired from Kraft Foods. I knew that her uncles either worked or retired at the shipyard. So I knew my mentality of saying, "Listen, a 9 to 5 is not me." Right? Yeah. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
I knew there was going to be some bucking up against that because of what was painted before her, which worked, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the men she looked up to, this is what a man was to them. And so here is a guy that's, 20 years old saying that he's going to do full-time ministry and he's going to, go out here and work outreach and, you know what I'm saying? And your family member saying if a man don't work, he don't eat. How do you manage that, right? So how do you believe in a dream when you don't have any income coming to support that dream you believe in?
Right. I like that you said don't trust me, trust the God in me. Looking at history, right? Looking at our past history, how much does God play a role in African American history?
So much.
Right.
So much. So much. Yeah, absolutely.
Them old spirituals.
Yeah. We can go back to Harriet Tubman.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. God is a part of our culture, but sometimes I feel like we're getting away. Sometimes I feel like we're getting away, but God has always been a part of the culture because even during slavery, that's all they had.
Right.
That's all they had was God.
Right.
They didn't have social media. They didn't have all this other stuff. They turned to God.
Right.
So that is so important. So when he said, "Trust the God in me," what was your thoughts on that?
Well, if I can be honest, I wasn't raised in the church. So hearing that trust the God in me went in one ear and out the other. But
that's good.
I stuck around him enough to watch. I'm very observant. People can say analytical, but I just pay attention.
Right.
And even when he did not have, he had. Even I just saw the way he served and the way he cared about the least of these as people would, declare them. So it wasn't as much as what he doesn't have this now. It was like just watching him, I was admired. So it was one of those, like, if he can do this and make this impact with little, I can only imagine what he would be able to do with much.
Amen.
So.
Oh. Yes, that's good. I know. I see him. He's like, is she talking about me?
He played his video.
So I think that is so important because I'm hearing the dream. I've seen the dream. Dom, we've known each other for a long time. I think the first time we met you, was it football? Yes, football. It was football. It was Little League football, right? Many years ago. Yeah, and you're still a part of that. Yeah. So you still, so both of you guys give back to the community. But what I want to say to that is, so forget about the dream. She said, I did not grow up in church.
Right.
So your life was an example of God to her.
Right.
Woo, how important is that for couples?
It
Because
is.
we have couples who have unsaved spouses.
Right.
So how important is our life that we reflect God through it, even if our spouse is unsaved?
I think for us too, you know, I heard from God and that, you know, Queen was my wife. Now, I'll be honest, from the outside appearance, because at this time she had a mouth. She had a nasty mouth. Like, we couldn't even play spades, man. Like, we would be team, and she used to be going off on me. Like, my friends were like, bro, you sure you don't want that? All I can say is,
God said, look, y'all gonna make me bring my fan out.
So she pumping Nelly in the car, Eminem, and I'm trying to listen to Kirk Franklin.
Woo! He said Eminem.
Oh my God.
That's some real ratchet music.
I'm trying to get her to go with her CDs. I'm like, listen, we're not doing that. So it wasn't easy. I can say that, but
God.
But what I will say is her loyalty has been unmatched, right? Because I don't know any female that would actually stick with someone that didn't have anything but a dream.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an easy thing to do, right? To say,
God or not,
I'm going to rock with you, even though I don't see this. And I proposed to her with no money, right? And I remember a conversation I had with her mom when I had asked for, in marriage. And she said, how are you going to take care of my daughter? Right? You ain't got no job. And it was like, she was real.
Right.
And I stood there and I said, you know what? I really don't know. I just believe. Like, I just believe God that we're going to have our own house. We're going to have our own this. We're going to have this. She's not going to want for anything. And I was just speaking it in faith because the reality was, Negro, you broke his ass.
You ain't got two nickels to rub together.
So for mom to trust in God in me, because there was no facts that was lining up like he's going to take care of my child. She had to believe that, okay, all right, well, we're going to see, right? And so, but also to know that she was willing to still be with me, even when I was like literally homeless. And this is the part that a lot of people don't know the story. One day we'll write a book about it. But when I say homeless, I'm talking about, there was one time when I got kicked out of my grandmother's house. Said I had to go, right? I was in the house speaking in tongues.
He still do that, y'all.
Hey, listen.
For whatever reasons I had to go, right?
Right.
And so I asked Queen to come pick me up. I said, hey, come pick me up. And she was like, well, where are you gonna go? I was like, just take me to the post office. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got my seat bag.
Right here.
I said, I got my seat bag from the Navy. I was like, got my clothes in it. I know where the homeless people at. Hey, this gonna be street ministry. Like this is. And here's the thing. I wasn't even stressing about, I'm about to live outside. Yeah. So she picked me up and we go to the post office, right? And so I get out, I grab my bags, and I'm amped. I'm like, I'm about to be ministering to all these homeless people out here. Like, I'm amped up. And she started crying, right? She started crying, and she was like, well, I don't want to see you out here like this, and I don't want to be the one to leave you here. So, if you want to walk back, just walk back, but let me take you back. So she ended up taking me back to Saratoga, and I called a friend of mine to ask, can I drop my clothes off, right? And then for some reason, I called my dad. And because the person I wanted to drop my bags off at, they wasn't home, right? So me and my dad wasn't close at the time. Like, we was not on speaking terms, anything. He was an alcoholic. It was just crazy. So something said, call him. And I was just calling him to say, hey, can I drop my bags off? Right. I'm going to walk back to the post office. I'm going to leave you alone. Can I just drop my bags off? So I call him and he tell me yes, right? So when I get to the door, he's at the door, like half naked, drunk, right?
Oh my God.
And this is what he says to me. Give him upstairs.
Oh.
Right? So instead of me having to go at the post office.
Yes.
I go stay with him for about 2 months. Then he tells me I have to go.
Yeah.
But the second when he told me I had to go, a friend of mine blessed me with a car. It was a 1985 Delta 88 prime, won't even paint it. Right, it was prime. Right, 1985 Delta 88, and that car became my house. So I would go to truck stops, I park in the parking lot. All day we both coaching kids in softball, so we coaching, right, going through everything, and then I go, sleep at a truck stop, have my Bible, I'm reading, I'm praying, God protect me. This is only temporary. And then when I wake up, I either go inside, take a bird bath, or when her mom would go to work, she'll let me come take a shower. So now I knew that her mom would have allowed me to stay if she knew my situation. Right. But I was like, nah, we ain't doing no shacking. Like, yes. I sleep in this car. We'll be all right. So I went from the car. And then, a friend of mine, he was a chief at a captain at Salvation Army. And he found out because he saw all my clothes in my trunk. Because I won't tell nobody. Like, nobody need to know. Right. Like, I don't need a pity party. Like, we good. So, powerful. He put me in a hotel. He was like, man, he called me pastor. I can't have my pastor sleeping in no car. Yeah. So he put me in a hotel. Then I had friends that would just say, hey, man, you can sleep on my couch. And there was a word. I was in seminary school. And one of the students, she prophesied to me. She said, God's going to give you a house, right? And if you have to pay for it, it's not going to be much. So I'm standing on this word. Right. I'm just like, my house is coming. And
hashtag faith.
Yeah.
Hashtag faith.
I'm going to make this real short.
No, that's good. That's good.
Short, I go from house to house, right? And then I was blessed with a house to live in, fully furnished. All I had to do was pay the utilities. And then the rest is just
my God.
Yeah.
You a few minutes ago you said, but I believed, right?
Right.
Your journey, your story that you just shared was your belief in action. Right? You had that faith, regardless. I'm standing on this word. I know it may look like this right now, but it's not going to be that way always.
Absolutely.
Right? And listening to your journey, that's why I say, you guys, y'all watching, hashtag faith, because that is faith in action right there. And the mere fact that you didn't even know God, but yet you still had the faith because you was riding his coattail of faith, right? You couldn't see it. You said, despite the Eminem and the Nelly, that God told her she was yours.
Right.
The scripture is, when a man finds his woman, he finds a good thing. Yeah. The rest of it is and obtain favor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it might not have looked like it, but he needed to know, if I can trust you with this, can I trust you with that?
So let me.
That's good.
So
we're about to start preaching.
And here's where you have to be careful when you say God said, right? Because you got to know that God said it.
That's right.
So I knew God said it. But let's just be honest. I still have moments in my flesh where I'm like, God, this ain't it, right? So I remember saying to her before we got married, I was like, you know what? This ain't it, and broke it off. And this was her response. She said, either you lied or you're a false prophet.
Ooh.
Because you told me God said I was your wife.
I told y'all my mouth.
Hashtag ouch. Hashtag ouch.
God.
Woo.
I said that's the so, and it really put me in my place.
Yes.
Like,
woo.
Yeah. So
man.
Yeah.
What was that?
I know, right?
He said I had a mouth.
So, close to 20 years later, we
still here. Yes. And again, like I said, your story is so powerful, and you've been standing on God's word through it all, and through the actions and the behaviors, you got saved, right? You gave your life to Christ.
we met in church.
Mm-hmm.
We met in church.
Yeah.
And, absolutely.
Amen. Woo! I'm on fire over here. Huh? Yeah, no. And the thing about it is because we're talking about have a dream, right? And sometimes people will have a dream, or they will say God said.
Right.
But the struggle they go through will cause them to question and sometimes revert back.
Right.
but you knew without a shadow of a doubt, even though you had those times where like, Lord, this, you know, you still kept the faith.
Right.
So that's, if anything, that's what we're trying to get across. If you have a dream and if you know God has given it to you, regardless to the storms, regardless to what you're going through, you persevere and you hold on.
Absolutely.
And I like that you said that I wasn't even upset when grandma was like, you gotta go.
Right.
Right. And that's how we're supposed to go through our journey. Right. With faith and just with courage, with boldness, and with peace and understanding. We might not understand it all, but that's how we're supposed to go through our journey, not the murmuring and complaining.
Absolutely.
Right. So amen. That was awesome. That was awesome. So a little fact, right? The 14th Amendment to the Constitution, which was in 1868, granted African Americans the right of citizenship, whether they were born here or if they were given some kind of citizenship to be here. And then also the U.S. House of Representatives passed a bill for us to be able to vote, right? And that bill was 333 to 85 people, and that was passed on July 9th. However, it was August 6th, 1965, where Johnson actually signed the voting right into law. 1965.
Right.
1965.
Right.
I was born in 70.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So with hearing that now we as African Americans are citizens, now we have the right to vote. How do you feel this contributed to the accomplishments that you guys are doing now? Are you going to answer it?
For one, you know, we have come from a lot, right? We have endured a lot as a people. And I think that when we look back at our forefathers, we look back at the different laws that were passed. The reality is there were certain laws that was passed to keep us from progressing. But we still, by the grace of God, found a way to move forward, to progress, and to be better and to be stronger, right? And so when we look at, you know, if it's to be able to vote, or look at it like this, the ability to you know, co-mingle together, right? And be in the same place, in the same school, in the same job, right?
Yep.
So all of that together have allowed us to grow and become who we are.
Okay.
But from a real estate perspective, in 1965, you also had the fair housing, right? That allowed Blacks to purchase a house and not be discriminated against.
That's good.
You know, and so that is something that was major in 1965 as well.
So with the real estate being made in 1965, and here you are now, co-owner, right, of a realty company, you definitely see that's come a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that.
We still have a long way to go. Yeah, let's
speak to that a little bit.
Yeah, we still have a long way to go.
Okay.
The reality is, yes, we have come a long way.
Yeah.
Right? But there's still some laws that need to be removed because there's a lot of red tape that continue to keep minorities, Black and brown people from moving forward. One, for instance, is student loans that count against your debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
Why do we have that?
That's
when
good.
You know that, you know, our people are the main ones getting student loans.
Yeah.
And now they go and get this good paying job, but that $100,000, $200,000 check, because we were taught, go to school, make good grades, and get a good paying job. But now that good paying job, you still not afford it to get a house. So you're gonna have to stay in the same neighborhood that you are trying to move out of. But because of your student loan debt, that is now hurting your debt to income ratio, which it keeps you from being able to progress, right? So that's still some things we still have a long way.
We still have a long way to go. We still have a long. How many of y'all knew that? Right? Because I mean, I knew about the student loan because I have it, and I'm just mad about that bill that I pay every month. But anyway, that bill is relentless. Like I'm still waiting. Like, can y'all just let this go? Anyway, so I mean, I don't know how many of our audience knew that. But you say there's a lot of red tape with real estate, with banks, right? There's a. I want you, because you also you know on the board with the banks. Absolutely. So speak to that a little bit.
Wow. So, you know, when it comes to banking, I don't know if I think it was last year, a couple of years ago. It had to be a couple of years ago. I think Trump was still in office. When they passed a law for anything above $600 to be reported to the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
$600.
$600.
Right. Now the threshold at first was 10,000.
10,000.
Right. So if you are withdrawing $10,000 or you deposit $10,000, right, they have you complete this form. They want to know where did the funds come from. All right. To be able to track, right, paper trail. Okay. Now it's been reduced from 10,000 all the way down to $600. So you have the one person that's at home trying to start a at-home business.
Right.
Say they're doing nails, they're doing hair, right? Somebody cash at them $600. Guess what? That now gets reported. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so it's just things like that that just doesn't.
Yeah.
And we understand that you're only doing that because of
Right. Because of different ethnicities where
absolutely.
Where it's hard,
Right.
and that's where we say we still have a long way to go.
Right.
And it's important for us to be diligent and understanding these laws and finding out what's going on and being involved so that we don't stay ignorant to the fact of these things that are going on so we can advance. Right? But you guys are advancing. Y'all are doing your thing. I want you to speak a little bit more about the Dream Queen, the umbrella. I want you to speak a little bit more about that.
Come on.
So with that has been my little baby, y'all.
No. We're not saying nothing little here. That's been my baby.
That's been my baby. And it was full-fledged birth publicly in December when I held my first conference. And for me, that was major. Because for so long I have been the behind the scenes person, the support person for a lot of people. So when the role shifted, I had to mature. I had to really understand. I had to, get things in order with self, to understand what it takes to be a leader and to understand my role beside him and not behind him.
That's right.
And so
my rib.
Right. So, the Dreaming Queen gave me, in essence, my place. You know how people say my seat at the table, but that was my baby, being that I birthed it. But it will allow me to pour back into other people, whether it be conferences, whether it be job fairs, whether it be events, whether it be travel, because I really desire for entrepreneurs or business owners to take vacations.
Yes.
They work hard, but they don't always make time to enjoy the fruits of their labor.
Yes.
So I really have a passion for entrepreneurs because before I was in that role, I saw it, I witnessed it. And you can't always speak at a thing until you're in a thing. So now that I'm in that role, I'm able to really relate to him and say, well, now I saw it from a different lens. I'm walking in your shoes now. So now when I speak to it, I have credibility. Like, okay, maybe she understands.
Right.
Or maybe she sees. So now he's able to receive because now he sees me in a different light as well.
So how can somebody contact you? Like, you have a website?
Yes.
Can you say it slowly, please?
www.Lakita, Lakita, Epps, EPPS.com.
Okay.
So it's my name. Hey, y'all.
Hey. Say it one more time. www.LakitaEpps.com. Okay. LakitaEpps.com. All right. And you guys should see it scrolling across the screen right there. So that's basically, because some of y'all watching, I know y'all work. Vacation. Okay. And it's important for us to take a vacation because at one time, work. Yeah. We don't enjoy the fruits of our labor. We work so hard and we don't, as a Black people, we don't really vacation. Right. I know some of the places where we go and vacation, sometimes it's us and maybe another couple, but we need to do more.
Yeah, we're turning it up now.
Yeah, we're turning it up now. Yeah, it's our turn. It's our turn. I don't even mind the stairs anymore. I'm like, hey, cousin. So listen, you guys, I said you guys have the cafe, we talked about the real estate, the business, and the banking, but tell us a little bit, how are you guys giving back to the community, right? Tell us a little bit about that.
So mentoring organization, Enlightened Minds Mentoring. We mentor in Suffolk Public Schools, elementary and middle school, and we also meet with high schoolers as well. And so we've been doing that for 5 years now. 5 years, 3 days a week that we go in, and that has been a blessing. And one of the things that really blessed my heart was to see these young boys that look like me from the same neighborhood I'm from. When we ask them, "What do you want to do when you grow up?" and I get the ones that say, "I want to be a real estate agent.
Wow.
I want to do what you do."
Yes.
Right? And that
yes.
it just almost made me cry because I'm like, when I was younger, it was I wanted to play football, I wanted to play basketball. Right? Now they say, "Hey, I want to be an agent." And so, I take those young men, I take them with me, either showing them, the investing side of real estate, or out showing houses to just get them exposed to what that looks like, right?
Yes.
And so that's probably one of the, things that we really love the most is being able to mentor and pour in.
Yes.
But we've always been given, like, our house has been a house for.
Oh, I know. They have always been part of the community. So I appreciate that, because we just got finished talking about It Takes a Village last month.
Oh yeah.
And it definitely does, right? How important is mentorship, especially as a Black man who has their own, who this is my neighborhood and this is where I've come, but I'm here to show you it's not about gang banging, it's not about the drugs, it's not about the football player, the basketball. If that's what you want to do, fine. But what do you fall back on? Because the lifespan of football and basketball is not that long. Right. So how important is mentorship, not only to our men, but our women as well?
So for me, taking it back to, as you said, the church, it tells us, in the word, that the older women, should reach back and, help raise up the younger generation of ladies. And so even with mentoring, I think it's necessary, because there are some things you don't know or you won't experience until you have someone. And even as we grow and as we go on this journey of life, we don't know it all. So I think mentorship is important, because one, it will save us from making some mistakes. It will also provide accountability and a layer of trust, because even as we're moving along, even as a couple in business, there's other couples that we can glean from, because we don't ever want to come across as, oh, we have arrived, we got it down pat. No, we still give flowers to other couples that are doing it. We still have coaches and mentors, not just for business, but for marriage, because you don't want to lose one or the other in pursuit of one or the other.
That's right.
So I think it's necessary. And one thing I heard someone say, that we will get coaches for sports, we will get coaches for different things, but we don't have coaches for our marriages, our finances, as business owners.
That's right.
And so we have decided that ends with us, so from moving forward, we have those things. Our children see us on meetings, with those coaches. So it's not, oh, we talk about it. We do it, and we do it so that even our children can see that it's necessary.
Setting the example. And I know we had one comment that said, basically, where do you mentor at? But it's right here in Suffolk, Virginia, right?
Yeah. So we mentor on Saturdays from 10 to 12 at our West Washington Street location.
So that's Wall Street Cafe.
Yeah, Wall Street Cafe, 118 West Washington Street. And so, that's what we mentor every third Saturday. Okay. But there are certain schools that we're in, elementary schools, middle schools, that we're in doing the week.
Okay, and that's good to get into the schools, because right now there's so much happening in the schools.
Absolutely.
Right, there's so much happening in the community that they need a positive presence.
Because a black male presence.
Say it one more time.
Yeah, they need a black male presence.
A black male presence.
There's a lot of schools that we mentor at. One, they have maybe one or two male teachers in the whole school. And none of them are black.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you have a child that, acts a certain way, and they don't have that male voice, that's why, when we coach, we can yell and scream and we earn their respect, and they don't snap, because they need that.
Right.
So that's why I love being able to mentor in the schools, because I tell them quick, hey, listen, y'all don't cut my check.
Right.
So this is how we get down.
Yes.
Right? And we talk to them on a level that they can understand and relate to. and it works.
Yeah.
It works.
I believe the best part of mentoring is actually showing them that you care and you're not giving
just
up.
showing up.
Yes.
Just showing up beats half the battle right there.
Yeah.
Just being consistent with being there every week, and they see, because most of our young boys, right, they have, especially the ones in single family, households.
Yeah.
They see so many people coming in and out, right? So they just want to know, hey man, you here, you consistent, you showing up.
Right.
My dad may pop up once in a blue moon,
Wow.
right? But you here every single week, and that's what they look up to.
So the word I heard was consistent. Y'all put that in the chat. Hashtag consistency.
That's right.
Consistency is the key in all things.
Yeah.
Right? You was consistent at pursuing the dream, regardless to what it looked like, regardless who believed in you. Sometimes with doubt, it's like, no, because I know that I know. You was consistent. You was consistent at pursuing her.
Right.
And here we are. Right. Here we are. I'm proud to know the Epps.
We proud to know Let's not get it twisted.
So I appreciate, and I appreciate, without going into it, I appreciate our little thing that be on the side. So because it does, and you do have to have those people that's in your life where everybody don't have to be broadcast all on social media and everything else. How is iron sharpening iron? Right? That's the key here. How are we sharpening each other that we don't have to broadcast it all over the time? You can just be from the sideline saying, I got you. Right. And that's more important to me than anything else, is for somebody to say, I got you, and be there and show up.
Absolutely.
Right. That's what it's about. So listen to this statement. In Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, he said, I have a dream. Excuse me. I have a dream. For my four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by their character. You guys have 4 children, right? Do you think we arrived, or does our society have work to do? Because he said, I have a dream that my 4 children, this was in 65.
Yeah.
That they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by their character.
Right.
Speak to that.
I'll say it's a little bit of both. We have arrived, but we still have work to do, and that's an individual basis. There are some people who have moved forward, who have progressed, and then there are some people who are closed-minded, or they're not ready to, accept that. And I can say that for me, when I was going to school, my elementary school, my middle school, my high school, and my college were all 90 to 95% Black. So my first experience with the Caucasian, race was at work. So I had to learn at 16. I had to work. We called them work besties back then, but that was my exposure. Whereas now I have my daughters who are in elementary school can have sleepovers with people of opposite race. I didn't have that experience, and I was born in the 80s. And so it's just one of those, like, we have grown, but there's still room, because there's still some that, is not by character. It is by the color of their skin. And if I can be totally honest, some of us do that to each other.
Right. And not just that.
I'm about to get my fan.
At this location, when we acquired, this was a coffee shop already here.
Okay.
Right? So when the opportunity came, we already had the other one. All right, it was almost year 2. Almost year. It was a year and a half in the other location, right down the street.
Right.
And so the owner that owned the spot was a previous location. She kind of mentored us in the other one, because we didn't know anything about coffee. I just knew God said do it, and so I just started reaching out to some people, and that was that.
And that was that.
Now
that dream.
So when she approached me and my other partner and said, "Hey, I'm putting it up for sale, and I want to give y'all first bids. Are y'all interested?" We knew that just how it is. Washington Street was looked at as the Black spot,
right?
And this was looked at as the white spot. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Real talk with Ellasin.
So one of our challenges and concerns were, when we take over, are we going to lose the customer base?
Right. Yeah.
When they see that, it's now Black owners, are they going to
force our culture on them.
right? And so it's amazing that this cafe is still 90% Caucasian customers.
Amen. Amen.
Right?
Amen.
90%. But we didn't have to change who we are.
Right.
Right? You look around, you got a Biggie Smalls.
I see Biggie Smalls. Listen, what y'all don't see is my boombox over there with the Ellasin name played across the face, right? But but it's still even though I see African American culture, just still the layout of it, you can still see that it just blends the cultures together.
Yeah, because we didn't change nothing.
Right.
So when we got it, everything, the furniture, everything came. Now, she gave us some good advice, which was very smart. She said, just don't make this one. Don't make this one like you have down there. Because down the street is high energy.
Yeah.
It takes on my nature. It's
right.
Who I am, right? Very high energy, right? This
flamingo.
Yeah, flamingo.
All day.
Me too.
Make sure y'all get that disrespect. But this one is more laid back.
Yeah.
Right? It's that turtle, right?
Chameleon.
Type, right? But we have come a long way.
Yeah.
We haven't got.
The train hasn't stopped at the station.
No, we on the road, but we ain't at the end of the road.
Right.
We still have a long ways.
Right.
We are moving forward.
Right. So the reason why I wanted this one to be I Have a Dream is because I said it several times in here is because I know, right? And I listen, when I tell you hustling, this dude here, I'm like, Dom, what you doing? I got Pepsi. Like I got Pepsi, I got Lay's, what y'all want?
That was we can go all day. We ain't got that much time. But just leaving Pepsi was another thing.
Yes.
Because that was a walk of faith.
Yes.
Right. Being able to leave what was consistent security, because she's big on financial security.
Yeah.
So to go to her and say, I believe God is calling me to go into real estate full time, what is commission only.
Right.
Right. To, hey, I was getting close to $75,000 a year at Pepsi. Right. So you're gonna leave that. You got 401k, you got pension, you got benefits, and you're going to go into something that you don't even know when and how you're going to get paid, right? And
sorry, I'm laughing because I remember all of her face. Yes, because I remember all of her. I seen it on her face.
And I always remember this because she was a greeter down here, and she would say, "You smile sometimes."
I seen it, y'all, but listen, because I know how I am and I know how she is, I would be like, baby, smile. And then I would just give her a hug because I know, because I know my brother, so I know and I know. And she would just be like, struggling.
So she said yes, right? But she said, well, get your first closing first. Yeah. She said, you get your first closing, then you can leave, right? So I pray, ask God for a date. God, when can I go? Now, I had my first closing, but she didn't say I had to make money off of it. Because my first closing, I lost money. It was $5,000 in the hole. Long story short, first closing, $5,000. They had to take my commission because my client owed more than what I listed the property for. Mm-hmm. So they took my commission to cover the other agent's commission. I closed, left Pepsi, and then we were in the red. So we had a rental property at this time too. So we were taking the rent money, trying to pay bills,
robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Oh man, it was, and it was at that crossroads of, man, I can't go back because I'm like, God, I believe you, but lights was about to get cut off. We had a notice of foreclosure on both houses, our house and the rental property, and we, yeah, she was pregnant.
Yeah, yes.
We was in a position that we have never been in, having to go to the church for financial assistance, going to Salvation Army, going to social services. I mean, we felt like, why are we asking for food stamps? Like, what are we doing? And so I'm like, man, I knew Pepsi door was open.
Yeah.
But it was like, nah, God. And so she said something to me because I was still doing everything else.
Everything
still
else.
coaching all over
Yep.
the place. And she said, if God called you to do real estate, you need to focus on real estate. And at that point, I just went all in.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. The rest is history. So yes. Y'all have come a long way. And the one consistent that I hear, but God. But God.
Yeah.
But God. I know y'all already hashtag but God. I know y'all already hashtag but God.
Right.
So listen, I'm hearing the story, right? We're listening, we're laughing, we're joking. It was hard time. But listen, wasn't nothing funny at that time, but we can. But God, right? So how important? Because you guys are in business together, right? So how important is it for us to make sure we keep the marriage right?
That is highly important.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you go ahead and speak.
Yeah, with that Morgan face. That was a Morgan face right there. One of their baby girls.
It's important to me, and I would say because if you're not careful, it can bleed over, and that's something that I had to learn. Not knowing how to separate when to be wife, when to be business partner.
That's good.
There are boundaries that you're going to have for both.
I love that word.
There is sometimes what I have to, and I'm still learning this, what I'm about to say. I have not arrived, but there are times I have to really be quiet and just follow. Because I like things structured, because I like to know everything. It can limit.
I couldn't even get her a surprise birthday. God. Go ahead. This is real talk.
It's real talk.
But doing that sometimes limits the movement in faith. And I can say where I am today and where we are in our lives, it was because of his faith and his belief. But if I always calculate and question and make him wait, we'll be still waiting to be in this place right here. So it comes a point when I have to be quiet, listen, even if I don't agree, support, learn, grow. It's very important. And then also you have to feed both. So reaching out to Coaches for Business, and we have a marriage community that we are a part of. And so I'm able to run my ideas past somebody, or I'm able to say, y'all, I'm upset today, or, reach out to a coach that I can filter things by, because you can get in the heat of the moment and you can ruin home and then spill it into work, because I've done that before. We can be honest, and it makes it uncomfortable because people can feel your spirit and your energy. Or even going to church after having an argument. But it's all about maturing and developing who you are. But I'm still learning that, but there is a difference, and it's important to feed them both, but also know when it's time to be wife and when it's time to be business partner, because I can be wife at the business, and sometimes I have to pull back and say, you know what, we can address this at home.
Right.
But sometimes he said the mouth, it came out, and it's too late then. It's too late then. So and respect.
But
go ahead.
But also the just knowing that, like, for me, I get so many people that will, say, great job, or you're doing this, you're doing that. And even though I don't like it all the time, the way that it comes off, she still gives it to me raw, right? It still brings me down to say, like, okay, well, you may be Mr. Epps out there, but,
right? But up in here, you don't.
Right? You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's still good to be able to, have those conversations and, just bring you back down to reality, right? And focus to know that you don't want to build all of this and not have your family to enjoy it.
That's right. That's good. Yes.
And so you got to be able to count the cost.
Yeah.
Like, so that's what I would say.
Yeah. So I know you guys heard her talking about the community. If you remember back, I want to say a couple of months ago, we talked about MAPS, Marriage and Parenting Successfully, with Glenn and Cherie Brooks. If you haven't seen that episode, you can go back on Real Talk with Ellasin and find it. that's the part of the community actually that we're both a part of. They just take more advantage of it than we do, truth be told. But yeah, so it's so important to be a part of a marriage community. It's so important to have people that's doing it right and doing it well, and understanding that you have problems. We're going to have problems, but how you handle it, especially in business. Because what you don't want is home to bleed over and then work to bleed over.
And not just that. The church don't talk about marriage from the aspect of what's real about it, right? So you put a facade on to say, you know, we don't share scars. So that's what really got us in MAPS. And to be very transparent, when Glenn and Sheree came to our church, we had already signed separation papers. I still don't know why we even went to the workshop, because we'd already met with pastor and said we were done with it. But for some reason, we just went. And I remember sitting in the front row.
I asked all the questions.
I was mean mugging. I was like, I don't even know why I'm here. But it was something that Glenn, when he got up and he shared how many, he's been divorced. Sheree was divorced twice. And he just started uncovering himself. And I set up like, I never heard somebody from a pulpit. Because from the pulpit, you have this facade of, we're perfect. And he just let it loose. Right. And that just, it caught my attention. Like, finally, somebody that's real.
Listen, y'all were on back there on that side, doing what y'all were going through. And we were over here on that side, going through what we were going through. Right. And, and the sad thing about it is you're right. And this is why we kind of created Real Talk with Ellasin, is because we want to talk about things, right? Absolutely. And it's a spinoff of Living Water Worship Center, because we don't as a church, right? And so, and again, in that whole piece, right? And it was so funny because I don't know if y'all know, remember when we came back, he called me out? Both of y'all. He knew y'all names. Right. So with that being said, it's important for us as a church, as a community, to talk about these things, to let you know that you're going to struggle. So, and we talked about this, I want to say, I think it was last week or the week before. I'm so sick of these cliches. I'm so blessed and highly favored. Honey, how you doing? Right? How you really doing? Right? So, we know we are blessed people, but we still going through. So I've learned to pull away from these cliches. And it's like today, you say, how you doing? I said, girl, I'm tired, but I'm going to be all right. Right. I don't have to tell you my business. Right. So listen, guys, you have been watching Real Talk with Ellasin. We are on site here with the Epps at Wall Street Cafe 2, because this is number 2 with more to come, right here in Suffolk, Virginia. And it has been a pleasure talking with them. We have brought past Black history into current Black history. And then tell us a little bit, not too much about it, but I know you're still dreaming. I know y'all still dreaming. Right? Y'all still dreaming.
So I want to talk about excursions, because that's another amazing dream that I believe is going to really bless a lot of entrepreneurs, servant leaders, pastors. So I'll let you go ahead and share about that.
Yeah. So with that, one of the things, in addition to, I believe books are coming, but excursions, I really desire to do some type of retreat where entrepreneurs and those who are leaders can get away and really enjoy themselves. It doesn't have to be the strict, you attend classes, we're in workshops all day. It's just a trip that's pre-planned. You just pay, you show up, you have fun. You bring your family if you want, or you bring your spouse, but it's put together. It's other people there that are like-minded individuals, and you enjoy yourself. No agenda. No, you have to do this. You're on vacation, so enjoy yourself. So that's where I think we're going for me, and then for him, I see books and other things.
Look at her saying, "I see books."
But also 100. The first goal was 100 properties, so we're working towards that, to be able to surface 100 properties of 500 families.
Yes. Amen.
And being able to, just give more.
Yes.
And just to be a blessing.
Yes. Amen.
That's it.
Yeah, because some of your properties you actually use for to help people from different organizations, right? Yes. Right. Give back, right? Because what God gives us is really for us to bless others with anyway, right?
Absolutely.
Right, and be smart with it.
That's right.
That's right. Be smart with it, because you could be giving everything away and they'll keep taking, but be smart with what. Yeah. Yes. So you have been watching Real Talk with Ellasin. And like I said, we have been sitting here with the Epps, with Domenick and Lakita Epps. And guys, they are really doing it. They are the example of keep dreaming, right? Keep dream alive. Don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on your vision, and don't give up on your purpose. So stay tuned, because we are going to be talking with other people, other couples about businesses, Black history with a twist, on Real Talk with Ellasin. Thank you so much for watching us. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Don't forget to subscribe. Mwah.